Today I want to talk to you about responsibility, accountability, and performance. A lot of people get confused about what's responsibility versus accountability. So let's just take a bit of time just to explore those terms. Let's talk about responsibility first. The dictionary definition talks about responsibility being the duty of having to deal with something or with somebody. Accountability, in contrast, is the process of ensuring that someone is fulfilling their duty or responsibility. So responsibility is the task, accountability is the oversight that task has been done to meet a certain expectation. So hopefully that gives you clarity about how those terms are used, because I know there's a lot of confusion about that. Having clarity around responsibility and accountability is the hallmark of any high-performing team. And I know a lot of people struggle with the accountability conversation, but I want to try to break it down and make it simpler. And I think the reason why people struggle with accountability is because as a leader within a business, you want to be supportive of your team. You also, like most of us, we like to be liked, and we fear the confrontation is going to have a negative impact on the relationship that we have. In actual fact, most businesses and most leaders aren't good at giving the feedback and having the accountability conversation in the first place. And the studies show that people would rather have that difficult conversation, which is making clear to them how they need to be performing better, than not getting any feedback at all, which is what happens in most cases. The 2019 CEO benchmarking report also cited accountability as the greatest weakness expressed by CEOs. So let's just try to break it down and make it really simple. We struggle because I don't think we're really good at setting expectations. And when you think about it, when we allocate a responsibility to someone, we're setting an expectation of not only what needs to be done, but hopefully a certain standard that we're expecting of that outcome. Okay, so being able to have an accountability conversation starts with being able to set an expectation. An expectation is what I need you to do and what the result needs to look like. Okay, so we set an expectation here, and that's what we're hoping to achieve. Now, when we check performance, and if performance is below expectation, then an accountability conversation is really exploring the gap. Why is there a gap? What can I do as your leader and supporter to help you increase your performance and close the gap? And we've talked about 5 reasons why there's a gap before, in 5 causes of underperformance. It's either I haven't been clear about what the expectation is in the first place, which is by far the most common cause of underperformance, or it might be a lack of knowledge. Someone needs some training to close the gap, or they might need more resources in order to close the gap. They might need more time, more headcount, more budget in order to achieve that level of performance. Lack of motivation can also be an issue, as can perhaps the person is underperforming because they just don't have the capability or capacity to do the job. But when we change our mindset from being a manager driving performance to being more of a coach or a mentor at helping that person close the gap, we're not only having a much more motivational impact on our team and the expectations we're creating for the team, but we're lifting performance overall within the organisation and developing greater trust that our managers and leaders are there to support and encourage growth rather than being punishing because I haven't quite got the performance levels right. I hope you found that helpful.